So right now, the anti-fascists, the Antifa fanatic extremists that Trump has labeled a terror organization and who have members in higher academia, in Google, and everywhere, people who run Twitter, these people are everywhere. They are now openly attacking Christianity. And for now, Antifa hasn't fully gone against Islam. And here's the thing, it's funny how some of these militant atheist communists and anarchists in Antifa think that the new mode of Muslims is just going to sit back quietly like the Christians and allow Islam to be destroyed. Now, what's interesting about this is they keep thinking that the Muslims will just perish in the sand far away like what they've been doing, right? See, the Antifa types are using Muslims because they're getting, killed by our soldiers. Well, we're in a war with each other. We're hurting each other. And it's one-sided and it's dark. It's a dark world. So much pain. But they're using that pain to be like, "Oh, we're sticking up for Muslims, so we're the good guys." Yet they're attacking Christians full on openly. And here's the thing, Christians and Muslims have a long war of going at it. This is true. But here's the thing. The new American Muslims, who I'm going to consider myself a part of, once I get more degrees of understanding, I will say my formal Shahada and all of that. But this is the thing. Not all Muslims, especially the new generation, are illiterate or Stone Age thinkers, right? See, these Antifa atheist types think that all Muslims only read one book. They're very dumb, very uneducated, very backwards, Stone Age. They don't create anything, right? They think really like, oh, well, they'll just blow themselves up and do all this crazy stuff. No, 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 no. No. The new version, such as myself, probably read more than you. And I can go tit for tat mentally, right? I know Aristotle, I know the rhetoric games. See, this is why it's beneficial to read a lot. It doesn't weaken your faith. It makes you more prepared to know when you're being manipulated and to see different strategies of attack that they will do. Because these Antifa types, or it's a new form of warfare in a sense. It's a whole new level of antagonism, right? These people will censor things. They'll come after you, right? If you don't bend to them, they will try to break you. They will silence you. They will ban you off Google. They'll make it so you can't make money in the online world, right? Think about it. But there is hope, because I think that's part of what the new generation is. See, any Muslim who's in Antifa right now, you're helping to destroy your own religion. And see, you may not think that. A lot of Muslims, maybe they are in the East, they're not paying attention to what's going on in American civil politics, which makes sense, right? You're like, hey, it's like I don't pay attention to what's going on in Hungary or Bolivia, you know what I mean? But I can say it as somebody who spends a lot of time in that world. I can see the slow progression, the slow creep of where they're moving. And right now, Antifa will gladly use Muslims. They'll gladly use them. But how can you create a lasting alliance with somebody who openly burns religious texts? And the Christians are now crying, being like, do it to the Muslims. And you think eventually the communists won't be like, hey man, we should do that. China's doing it right now to Muslims. They're communists. Stalin punished religious people heavily. Karl Marx in his Das Kapital, which I will probably read again on the channel, well, I read it myself, but I'll read it for the channel, says religion is the opiate of the masses. It dulls them. So how can you team up with somebody whose entire philosophy is based upon destroying patriarchy and destroying religion? You think that They like you now because you're refugees, right? They can use you, right? Look at this sad refugee. Oh, we're the good guys. And then they turn around and be like, oh, those backwards Christians, this, and that. Come on, fam. Come on, you gotta be careful. If you're in Antifa, you have to leave it. You cannot trust militant atheists and communists and anarchists. An anarchist system will not go with Islam. It won't work. It's not compatible. It's not compatible at all. It is not. Now, it's sad that maybe many Muslims are not very into political science. I haven't met a Muslim who studied political science. Most of them are engineering students. So they're busy, right? But it's time that Muslims, especially Western Muslims, you need to start paying attention to local politics. And you need to be very aware of the strategies that Antifa uses to brainwash you and make you a militant. Muslims have more in common with Christian Republicans than they do with left-wing, leftist, communist atheists. And it's sad that so many are falling for it. They're gonna make you bend. See, what these types do is they infiltrate piece by piece, right? They're gonna slowly eat it out. They're not just gonna, bam, you gotta change. No, they're gonna slowly eat it out. That's why more Muslims have to create their own apps and have to work at Google and work at these companies to really protect Muslims' freedom of speech. Because if only the militant Antifa types are in power in these social media platforms, Twitter and other things, when the day comes for them to turn on Islam after they're done picking the bones of Christianity, they will come for Muslims, without a doubt. History repeats itself. But see, this is the problem. It really is, and I know so many of you're busy, we're all stressed, but you have to understand different systems of government, different systems of economics. You have to understand different modes of ethics and aesthetics. You have to know how to be able to communicate with these people on their level, right? Spiritually, you're above them. But there's another side where you have to be able to communicate. You cannot ignore it, because if you ignore it, you're going to end up in a concentration camp like in China, right? So they'll use your children to be radicals, to go and fight cops. But all that's going to do is turn more Americans against Muslims, right? They will use you and toss you aside and then turn on you to eat you. Their philosophies, their values, nothing of what they value. They'll tell you, oh, we're anti-racist. Good. That's something in the Quran, right? The Arab's not better than a non-Arab. But these people are more than that. You have to read what they say. Now, in Islam, men are very important. In Antifa, they would make men castrated. Look at the men who are in Antifa. They're soy boys. They're emasculate. They're very depressed, nihilistic, pessimistic. They don't have that divine light. And see, here's the thing. Islam has healed me in many of my wounds. There's many people like me. We're not just going to sit back and not speak up and just allow Antifa to slowly etch away until it crumbles. Now, I know you're going to say Islam will always prevail. But you have to remember, these people promote drug use, right? They want to legalize all drugs. They want to let different prisoners out of prison. There's even Antifa people who march with the P in the LGBTQP, which stands for pedophilia. They want your kids. There's a lot of things these people want to do. There maybe, I haven't met any, personally, who were like, and I'm in the San Francisco, you cannot tell me Antifa is not an organization. I know teachers who were in it. I know students who were in it. I know a lot of people who are in it. They're everywhere, and some of them are quiet. Some of them are not. They have power. They're in higher education, and you're sending your kids there. And they slowly, through social pressure, morph them right? They would make Muslims weaker because they would make white Muslims, black and brown and Asian Muslims all fight with each other because these people are obsessed with race, right? They're obsessed. They're obsessed. And they say it's because they care, but in reality, it's power. It's power. So it's a warning, fam. You guys gotta read. I know it can be boring. I know you don't want to read sometimes. It takes a long time. And, make sure you keep reading and help people who like to read. You have to educate yourself. This is a new age. In the past, you get on the horse, you go out with the group, you do what you gotta do. Today, it's the mind arena and the digital realm. You think you can ignore it until they're at your door. Until they're at your door. You have to battle them in the realm of ideas. The Muslims in the Middle East keep the religion pure. They keep it pure. If you're in a Western country, you have to battle those who want to destroy Islam in a Western way. And the way you do that? Debate, writing books, spreading positive information, leading by example. Don't make the mistakes that the Christians made, right? Jews, they stay out of it, and they're in the finance market, right? They handle it their own way. Buddhists, most of them, far up high meditating, and they're out, you can't even reach them because they're out there. Muslims, though, do not get sucked in to Antifa. They're all over the campuses. It's very hard. Especially black Muslims. You must be careful. I know how that sounds. I know how it sounds, me as a mixed race person telling you this. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful not to help your enemy be able to destroy you. Be careful, family. You gotta read up on what they're doing. They're burning Bibles. They're burning Bibles. And the Christians are asking for it to be done to Muslims. And eventually, they're gonna listen. They're gonna listen. And that is sad. But we have to be counteractive. We have to create a positive image. It's a big reason why I'm trying to perfect myself every day. Do what you can to educate yourself. To be vigilant, be aware. These people play a psychology game. You have to be able to know what they're doing because their tactics are clever. You have to protect your faith. And you have to be able to do it with words because these people live in a wordy world. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you can get what I mean. Yeah, family.